But that night, they receive a warning, a dream. Do not return to Herod. They realize the game, they see the trap, and they make a bold move. They ghost the king of Judea. They leave for their own country by another way, slipping out of the jurisdiction before Herod's spies can intercept them. Days pass. Herod waits. The silence stretches. Slowly the realization dawns on him. He has been played. He, the master manipulator, the Fox of Jerusalem, has been outwitted by foreign stargazers. The narcissist injury is profound. The rage that follows is volcanic. He doesn't have the name. He doesn't have the specific house. He knows the target is in Bethlehem, but he can't distinguish the Messiah from the neighbor's kid. A rational leader might increase patrols. A rational leader might wait for more intel. But Herod is not rational. He is thorough. If you cannot find the needle in the haystack, you burn down the haystack. He issues the order. It is one of the most brutal commands in ancient history. He sends a battalion of soldiers to Bethlehem with simple, horrifying instructions. Kill every male child, not just the newborns. Kill everyone 2 years old and under. He creates a kill zone based on the timeline the Magi gave him. He adds a buffer, just to be safe. He widens the net to the surrounding regions, the farmhouses, the hills. He will wipe out an entire generation of boys to ensure that one rival does not survive. While the soldiers are sharpening their swords, another dream descends. This time on Joseph. Rise, take the child and his mother, and flee to Egypt, and remain there until I tell you, for Herod is about to search for the child, to destroy him. This is the thriller element. It's a midnight run. Joseph doesn't wait for morning. He wakes Mary. They pack what they can carry. The gold from the Magi funds the escape. They slip out of Bethlehem, under the cover of darkness, moving south, toward the border, toward the desert. They are refugees now, political asylum seekers running from a death squad. They vanish into the night just hours before the boots hit the cobblestones. And then the sun rises on Bethlehem. The soldiers arrive. They don't knock, they kick down doors.
No one leaves.
They tear babies from their mother's arms. The Bible doesn't give us the graphic details, but we know what Roman-style military efficiency looks like. It was quick, brutal, and loud. Matthew quotes the prophet Jeremiah to describe the sound of that day. A voice was heard in Ramah, weeping in loud lamentation. Rachel weeping for her children. She refused to be comforted because they are no more. Rachel was the matriarch of Israel, buried near Bethlehem. The imagery is haunting. It's the sound of a mother's soul breaking. Imagine the confusion. The fathers trying to fight back against armored soldiers and being cut down. The mothers hiding their toddlers in grain bins, in ovens, under floorboards, praying the baby doesn't cry. The soldiers didn't care about the politics. They were just following orders. 2 years and under, males. No exceptions. They left behind a village of silence, a village where every cradle was a coffin. Herod sat in his palace, miles away, satisfied. He believed the problem was solved. He believed the threat was neutralized. He didn't know that the target was already crossing the border into Egypt, safe in the shadow of the pyramids. There is a supreme irony in the end of this story. A few months, perhaps a year later, Herod died. It was not a peaceful death. Josephus, the historian, writes that Herod's flesh rotted while he was still alive. He had convulsions, foul breath, and an unquenchable hunger. He died in agony, hated by his family, hated by his people, hated by history. He held a funeral for himself that was spectacular in its vanity. He wanted the people to mourn, so he arrested the most beloved leaders of the nation and ordered them killed the moment he took his last breath, just to ensure there were tears in Jerusalem that day. Thankfully, his sister countermanded the order. Herod the Great, the builder of temples, the killer of children, he died a rotting corpse. And out of Egypt came the boy, the one who escaped, the one Herod tried to crush with the weight of an empire. He returned to Nazareth. He grew up in quiet obscurity. And 30 years later, he would proclaim a kingdom that Herod could never understand, a kingdom not of fear, but of love. This is why the story of the massacre of the innocents matters. It reminds us that the light came into a world of profound darkness. The Christmas story isn't just a lullaby. It is a victory. It is the story of how the greatest superpower of the age threw everything it had at a peasant couple and a baby, and missed. The tyrant is dead. The baby lives. And the conspiracy failed. Most people skip this part of the Bible because it's too dark for the holidays. But knowing the danger makes the survival even more miraculous. Does hearing the true crime side of the Nativity change how you view the story? Let me know in the comments below. Was Herod the most evil villain in history, or just a desperate politician? If you want more dark history of the Bible deep dives, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We have more files to open. Until next time, watch the shadows.